Yo, Todd here, Center Valley Customs. Welcome back if you're back. Welcome if you're not. In this video, we are going to be continued. We are going to be continued. We are going to continue working on my 3rd gen 84 Z28 Camaro. Unleash the mullets, boys. I literally just got this thing running about 2 hours ago on a Holley Sniper 2 EFI with a Hyperspark distributor. I also dropped the tank, put a Aero Motive high pressure fuel pump in it. Was not a good time, but we are where we are. I want to go to a car show on Saturday called Auto Motion that is in Wisconsin Dells. It is currently Thursday, 9 p.m. and there is some stuff I still want to do to this car, and some of that stuff is not even here yet. So we need to get running. We need to get started. We need to get back at it like a crack addict. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So this is what we're going to start with. Not that. That's LS garbage. Like, literally should be thrown in the garbage. But you throw it away, then you need something. Anyway, butterflies. So what we have here are a set of Hedman long tube headers. Nice. Yeah. So those will get thrown on. Lowering springs from Eibach should lower the car about 1.5 inches. If you can put your hand between the tire and the wheel well, it's not cool, bro. So this should lower it down, so we should be able to do that. This is an El Cheapo 3-inch stainless steel exhaust kit from Amazon. The reason I bought this is because I also bought a 3-inch True Dual stainless steel kit from Speed Engineering for a 4th gen Camaro with a LS1. We don't have a 4th gen Camaro. We don't have an LS1. Comprende? So we're going to have to modify that with this to make it all fit. That stuff is probably going to come tomorrow afternoon, which means we'll have one night to get it put on. Yeah. Anyway. Random other exhaust hardware, and then a set of front sway bar links, because in order to put these springs on, we're going to have to disconnect them, and they ain't going to come apart. So let's get to work. Actually, let's pull these out and take a look at them. Oh boy. Those are not light. So these are the Eibach Sportline kit. I believe they make 2 sets of springs for Camaro. One is a 1-inch drop front and back. I think that is called the Pro Kit. This is the Sportline kit, where it is 1.6 in the front, 1.3 in the rear. I might have that flip-flopped. But let's break this box open. Where's my go-get-you blade? There. And see the sweetness. Ta-da! These would be the rear springs. Wow, those are, well, maybe they, I don't know. They don't seem very thick. Those would be the rear. These would be the front. Instructions. Don't need those. So we're going to start with the front. The back is pretty much already ripped apart from when I did the gas tank. The shocks are disconnected, the sway bar links are disconnected. We literally just need to jack up the body, let the axle droop, and throw these in. So, because that's going to be easy, I'm going to do the hard part first. I'm going to start on the passenger side. I will do that myself so I know kind of what I'm doing. And then we will come together on the driver's side. Let's get going. Well, I got the passenger side out already. Way, way easier than I was expecting. Literally, take the nut off the top of the shock. I cut the sway bar link and removed a clip from the, brake line. I'm glad I took the 5 minutes to look at a YouTube video of somebody else doing this, because I was about to take apart the ball joint, take apart the tie rod end, cut the sway bar link, remove the caliper. Like, I was literally going to drop the whole lower control arm. So glad I didn't do that. This is the difference. There is quite a bit of difference. According to this, it is about 1 3/4 inches. Not necessarily 1 5/8 inches. Yeah. Hopefully the spring rate's the same, or maybe this spring rate is a little heavier, because like I said, it's only supposed to drop like 1.5 inches, 5/8 inches. If it drops more than that, it might be a little sketchy, especially after we put our exhaust on. So I'm going to get that thrown back in, then I'll probably set it on the ground and we'll compare each side. Not cool, bro. Not cool. That's sick, bro. So fire. It's Gucci. So it's the driver's side with the stock spring yet. Now don't get me wrong, the body is leaning towards the passenger side, so this gap is actually more than what it was. But it did make a big difference, and it does look a lot better. It's hard to see on this side, but it really closed up that gap. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. I will have to come back to this side and put the sway bar link in, so I only got a couple lug nuts in it. Let's knock this side out quick, and then maybe we'll even throw the rears in quick tonight yet. Like I said, all we got to do is jack the body up and throw the springs in, so yeah. Peekaboo. I got this all jacked up. Got the wheel off, obviously. Step number 1 is cut the sway bar link off. My wife is sleeping. It's 11 o'clock at night. She's got to work tomorrow, so I will hear about this tomorrow. And my light died, but that's tomorrow's problem. Goodbye. Or not. Uh-oh. The wife is up. No bueno. That means I'm going to get my ass chewed out. Oh, there she went. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right, step number 2 is taking this clip off this brake line so that it can droop. I used to have a nice big floodlight. I can't find it. I'm pretty sure I know where it is. It's the perfect light for doing my eyebrows. Well, first thing tomorrow morning, I'm going to find it, and I'm taking back what's mine. Okay, there we go. I replaced one of these brake lines. Must have been the other one, because this one looks... Ooh, this one looks dry rotted. I should replace it, but I'm not going to. So there's just a plastic cap that covers the top of the shock mount. Before you even think about taking this nut off, you need to put a jack under the lower A-arm. If you take this nut off with no jack under that lower A-arm, and you're standing where I'm standing, say goodbye to your knees. Not good. There is a tremendous amount of spring pressure on that lower A-arm. Don't forget. So this is a 21 millimeter nut. Might be standard, I'm not sure. And on the top of this stud, there's a little flat that a 10 millimeter fits in. You may have to hold that, otherwise it'll spin. If this won't hold it, I got a vice grip. Not happening. Now we should be able to just lower our jack down. Oh, and the whole car. Keep an eye on that brake line. You don't want that to get too stretched out like I think it is. And be careful walking over here too. Oh, this brake line must be shorter than the other side. She looks like she wants to come out though. I'm going to stand over here maybe. Hey, yeah. No, no. That's why you do not stand in front of that. If that thing comes shitting out of there, oh boy, that's going to be a bad day. Wow. The other side, oh, it's caught there, that's why. Oh. I was going to say the other side, brake line was longer. So when you go to put this spring in, this is actually the bottom side. This tang needs to sit right here. You can't see it, but on the bottom side you can feel it. There's an indentation here where that gets located. Also on the top side, there is this rubber ring. I'm just reusing the old one. I'm sure you can get new ones. But don't forget that, and make sure that is clocked correctly in here. Last time I kind of had to get it at the perfect height and then take a pry bar and like force it up in there. Like so. Then, again, you do not want to stand in front of that now. Oh boy. This might actually be easier for me on this side. The other shock was completely blowed right out, so it would not go up on its own. Oh, perfection. Once you get some thread showing, quick put your nut on there. That way it can't blow out on you. And bada bing, bada boom. Tighten that up, put your brake line back on. I got to put new sway bar links on. And that might be as far as I'm going to go tonight. I am kind of getting beat. Even though I really would like to get the back done. Let's see how I feel after I get this all put together. Good afternoon. Last night, got the springs knocked out on the front. That looks really good. I did install those sway bar links. Good there. Now today it is 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish already, and my exhaust just got delivered. So we're going to start on that, and I'll show you what I got cooking here, and then we literally need to get to work because it's going to take me a while, us a while. I actually recruited Travis to come help me. Thank the Lord, because I don't want to struggle by myself. So what we have here is a Speed Engineering full exhaust kit for a 4th gen LS1 Camaro. We don't have a 4th gen, we don't have an LS1. But from what I understand, everything from the X pipe back should work for a 3rd gen. We will just have to modify this to fit with what we have. Now in order to run this kit, you need to have a pan hard bar relocation kit, which obviously that one's straight. This one makes a whoop-de-woo here. Those also drop this down, and then the other pan hard bar, which is right there, bolts to the end of that. So I have all that. This kit comes with clamps. Now you have your choice between standard clamps, V-band clamps, and some other kind of clamp. There's also hangers. Those are the pipes that are supposed to go on here to go to the long tube headers. We will not need those, but we possibly can use those to modify what we need to do. Now, in order to run that kit, we need long tube headers. My headers go from a 2 to 1 all the way back to a muffler. So I bought these Hedman long tube headers, part number 68460. I don't remember how much these cost, but this is what I bought. Now, I thought that these had a 3-inch collector. This is only 2.5. I did buy V-bands. My thought was to cut this off, put V-bands on it. I don't know what the plan is quite yet. We might just modify this or weld a 3-inch onto this. I'm not sure yet. It also came with gaskets, all the exhaust, header bolts, whatever, and then these are for the collector. So we should have everything we need. Well, we're working. Trav's down there. He's figuring out the exhaust in the back half. I am disconnecting the Y pipe from the headers. I already got all the header bolts undone except for 2. So once I get that out, pull those 2 out, the whole thing should drop out. And then hopefully by that time, Travis, if he's not busy, we'll have all of this stuff up to the X pipe there, figured out under there. And then once he gets that done, he can figure out how to mate the 2 to the headers, weld them together, get the headers put in while I watch. Kind of nice. No, just kidding. We're working hard. This is going to be a lot of time lapse because it's going to be a whole bunch of just screwing around trying to figure out what we got to do. And I need to get this done by tomorrow morning. I need to get to work. Header install. Actually, didn't turn out half bad. Yeah. Yes. What do we need here? Ouch. I yanked my neck so quick it popped.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is clearing.
You want to throw a gasket in it? See what happens?
No, because I need to get the starter in here.
Right. Well, let's make sure the header clears. Then we'll figure the starter out. I think if we take the lines off the starter, we should be able to sneak it up through here.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't think so. Not a chance in hell. You ain't sneaking that starter through that hole. What? No. If I took this apart, I could maybe get it up in this hole. Come on. Oh, there we go. Hey! Hey! Oh, good. Ouch. No, it didn't come loose. Hey! Oh, the... Ah! Holy f***. Who put this on? Who the f*** put this on? And 4 hours later, don't even have headers on. Got it.
down.
Yo, it has been a week since I recorded last. The Automotion Car Show in Wisconsin Dells was last weekend. Obviously, I did not get the car done to take it down there, which, in hindsight, was fine. I had went to the car show on accident one time 10 years ago because yesterday was my wife and I's 10-year anniversary. How she hasn't divorced me, I have no idea, but that's fine. Anyway, we went there after we got married. It must have been on a Sunday. It was fairly calm. Well, this year it was freaking wild. There is tons and tons and tons and tons of people there. There's 2 main roads in the Dells, and it was bumper to bumper traffic. If you wanted to go anywhere, it was going to take you an hour, hour and a half. It was bad, bad, bad. I actually didn't go to any events. I didn't go to a car show. My friend owns property down there, so long story short, I went to his house. We stood by the road, watched cars go by, and we drank beer. That was it. And if you did want to go somewhere, like I said, it was going to take you an hour, hour and a half to get to wherever you needed to go, wanted to go, whatever the case may be. I don't know that I would go back. I'll be honest. It was seemed like a younger crowd's game, put it that way. 18, 19, 20-year-old kids with daddy's money, with big jacked up trucks, tuner cars. Everybody likes their own thing. It just wasn't for me. Like I said, I don't know if I'd go back. So working on this last Friday night, the headers were a ginormous struggle to put in, which irritates the crap out of me because I bought name brand Hedman headers, $300, made for this car. I had to beat the headers to get them to fit. The passenger side, I had to take the starter out, put the header up, put the starter back in, and then bolt the header to it. The headers took us forever to get put in. By the time we got these put in, it was probably 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I had a raging headache. Travis, thanks to him, got a majority of the, not Speedmaster. Wow, I can't think of the name. Speed Engineering exhaust kit put in. And then we started working on the downpipes or the pipes from the headers. It was like 1:30 in the morning, and I had a raging headache. I was literally just on autopilot. Travis was doing 90% of everything because I just couldn't even function, more or less. And I said, you know what? Let's call it quits, because if we stay up all night, tomorrow at the car show is just going to suck for me. So let's just be done with it. So the car more or less just kind of sat for a week, and I was just kind of over working on it. Yesterday I did come out and I had some stuff up, trying to get some stuff fitting correctly and situated to proceed. I think at this point we're going to have to put the rear springs in it because the exhaust is going to hang under the drive shaft. So if I put the exhaust up, I won't be able to get the springs out. So we're going to start with putting the rear springs in today. Then I can kind of wrap up that portion of it, and then I can focus on the exhaust. So that's the plan. It's already late, so I don't know what we're going to get done today. In order to get the springs out, you got to let the rear end drop down far enough so you can get the spring out. When I did the gas tank in the last video, I unbolted my shocks and one side of the sway bar links. I don't know that you need to disconnect the sway bar links, but I got one out and I'm going to try to leave the other one connected. I did put the shocks back on at one point last week sometime, I don't know. So I'm just going to pull these off here quick. Like so. Let them droop. Come on now. There we go. All right. I should check this rear end at some point. Maybe take this cover off. take a peek inside there. Maybe we'll do that at some point while we're doing this. It smells a lot like race gas. Oh, I had to mow lawn the other day. I had 2 or 3 gallons of rusty race gas from the car. So I put that in there. Next thing you know, I got the lawnmower stuck in the ditch out in the cabbage. Had to use my 4-wheeler to pull it out. Should be able to just let this jack down. What are we catching on? Now this one I had out once already. Like so. There is this rubber bushing on the top, so you might want to keep that. Get that out of here. And I should be able to just take this, throw it on here. And bam. So when we pick the rear end back up, we'll have to make sure that these center back on the parts. I don't know what you want to call them. Oh boy. Give me that. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now, just jack it up. Make sure the springs are located back in the things. You should be able to put it back together. I got everything buttoned up with the rear springs, so I'm gonna move on to the exhaust again. This is kind of what it looks like roughly installed in the car. Pretty decent. That goes up to the X pipe. You do need this panhard bar relocation kit that drops it down from this hole to this hole. And there's actually also another little bracket here that goes on somehow like so. And that drops the other panhard bar that's supposed to go here to another hole which runs over there. I was struggling to get a gap in here. All these pipes slip together and there's a little bit of adjustment, so you got to play with that in order to get it in the right spot. This is for 4th gen, I have a 3rd gen, but for the most part in the back, all the hangers are in the right spot. They actually sent me hangers that I didn't realize where they went until like 2 minutes ago. They go up in here in the bumper to hold your tip on. So I'm going to throw those on. That will help out a lot. And then there's a little bit of adjustment here, but I'm just kind of working at it. I was struggling to figure out where to put this. I really just need to get the back tight and in the right spot before I can try to make my pipes fit up there. So I'm gonna work on getting this hanger put on. I'm gonna work on just getting all these pipes in the right spot and make sure I have a gap in here before I start going up there and making pipes that fit other pipes in the wrong spot. Good afternoon. It's been a while. I believe where I left off was I was installing the rest of the exhaust hangers now that I figured out where they went, and then getting that whole kit more or less right and tight in position with proper spacing so that I could build from the headers back. Well, since then, I've done that. Got the exhaust hangers all in, got it all tight, got good spacing, and I even built from the headers back. I did not record any of that because the car is so low to the ground, you can't see anything, and it's rolling in and out from underneath that thing 35,000 million times. cutting, marking, cutting, test fit, wrong, throw that in the garbage, start over, exhaust work. After that, well, 2 hours ago, I just got back from North Carolina, went on a little work extravaganza, so I've been gone all week. But I'm back now, so I'll show you what I got cooking under here. I also found a couple things, which confirms all the rumors you hear. Installing these tailpipe hangers was a way bigger job than it needed to be. This side went just fine. This side did not. The hanger mounts to 2 of the 4 bumper bolts, and those bolts are carriage bolts that go through this way. Well, I got both of the nuts about halfway off, and then the carriage bolt started spinning. The bottom one I just cut off with my grinder. The top one I could not because it's way up here, and I couldn't get up in there. I also couldn't get in there with my Sawzall, so I ended up making the world's longest 5/16 wrench that I was able to get up in here and hold the square part on the carriage bolt to get the nut off. I use the same carriage bolt also to put it back on. But yeah, so that was a pain in the ass. The rest of this, pretty much the way it was before, besides for it's tight and there's spacing everywhere. I did take 3/4 of an inch out of this hanger and this one because it hung too low. It actually hangs a little lower than I'd like as it is. I'd like it to be right tight to the bumper. But we will have to do, this tailpipe sits in pretty decent. I'd like it to be flush with the bumper, if not inside a little bit. This side, however, sits way out. So eventually I'm going to try to take an inch out of here so that will slide in a little further and hopefully it doesn't screw up the angle. But that'll be later. Now, up front. On the passenger side from the header back, it looks pretty decent. I like it. This frame rail on this side jogs up where the transmission cross member is. So you can kind of just swoop out and then follow that back up to the rest of the exhaust. This I cut off here. So this is the X pipe that comes with the kit. On both sides here, this has a 90 that comes out. I just hacked that off and then I was able to just jog over a little bit to match up with that. These headers are a ball and socket style. My initial plan was to cut that ball and socket off and put a V-band on it. However, to get this side out and in, you have to remove the starter. And I wasn't going to remove the starter again. Plus that ball and socket gives me a little bit of misalignment, so you don't have to be perfectly square with it. So this side, like I said, turned out pretty good. The other side, I had it pictured better in my head. On the driver's side here, I had this pictured in my head differently. I don't like how low this sits. I'm worried about ground clearance, which I won't know until I put it on the ground. This frame rail doesn't run uphill, so this transmission cross member and everything is lower, so you have to go underneath. They do sell aftermarket transmission cross members that have it cut out so you can put the exhaust through it. I didn't know that that side ran uphill. If I would have known that, I probably would have bought a different transmission cross member. I had pictured in my head that I was going to flatten this pipe so that I'd get a little more ground clearance, but I welded it in dumb spots and I didn't feel comfortable flattening it with the welds. I don't know. We're just going to see what happens, but I pictured this different, honestly. But it is what it is. Kind of 45s in and then runs back into the rest of the kit there. That looks pretty decent up to here, in my opinion. This is also really tight in here. You almost have to come out of there at a 90 because otherwise you're up against this frame rail here. And there's brake lines and transmission or speed sense, not speed sensor, speed cable, whatever the hell you want to call it. Speedometer cable runs in here too. I was able to utilize where the stock hanger mounted. I just took an aftermarket one and modified it. So this is all supported in front of the X pipe. So that looks pretty decent. Last but not least, there is an exhaust hanger that mounts through the rear passenger seatbelt bolt. You got to take the original bolt out. You run a longer one that's supplied through here, and then on the back side, the hanger goes through that with a nut. That made me take this back seat out. Well, there was a ginormous mouse nest in here with 2 freshish fatalities. So that made me look under that seat. Well, now, under this seat, I did not find a mouse nest. Thank the Lord. However, what I did find confirms all of the 3rd gen Camaro rumors you hear. Yeah. 2 of them. Now, if you think for a second, I'm just going to take these out and throw them in the trash, you'd be dead wrong. Now, most of you people probably think, yeah, it's just a pair of women's undergarments. That's not what this is. This is history. This tells the car's story. It's like a maintenance record. You don't throw these things away. You put them back where you found them. Pass them on to the next owner. So that's where they belong. You won't find those in a Mustang. Maybe some whitey tighties or some boxers or something, but definitely not those. Well, I'm going to get this tip yanked out of here, hopefully. Every time I've taken this out, this has been loose, and I don't know if there's enough movement here to get this out. Let's take that right off. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, oh yeah. Okay, good. That made me nervous. So I'm going to have to take an inch off this side and this side in order for this to get slid back. I got some duct tape I cut down to 1 inch at one time. I'm actually probably, this side really doesn't matter much as long as I leave a little bit of a lip for that to sit on. But regardless, I think we'll just take an inch off. Well, I think I got the tailpipes as good as I'm going to get them. They're nice and tight to the bumper, fairly even. They look centered enough. So I think that's going to be good. Close enough's good enough. All right, I want to hear this thing run. I went and got new plugs today because one of them was broke. The ceramic was broke. I think I dropped it on the floor. I got a colder plug. I don't really know the difference between hot and cold, so I kind of just went with what ChatGPT said. These are NGKs, so I got a 7 instead of a 5 that I had in it. I have to run these 60,000 spacers, otherwise my pistons will gap the plugs for me, and not in a good way. So I'm going to quick throw these in here, and then we're going to fire this thing up. I'm worried it's going to be too loud. I really am. Well, it is finally time to start this thing up. It's been sitting on jacks for the last 2 weeks, simply just because of exhaust, and I got busy. Whatever. I am pretty nervous. I think it's going to be way too loud. It's essentially just a straight pipe 3-inch exhaust. They got little mufflers on them. I don't even know if I'd call them mufflers. I think I'd call it more like a resonator. I actually don't really care for super, super loud vehicles. I like it just loud enough to be noticeable, but have a really good tone. The old exhaust was pretty rappy, I would say, and I don't care for that. I already assume that I'm going to be putting mufflers on this thing. Like, when I bought this exhaust, I already assumed the mufflers are going to come off. But we're about to find out. Oh, I did record the sound of this car before shooting this video, so this is what that sounds like. We're about to see what this sounds like. I'm actually going to leave my mic up here so that you guys can hear it, and I'm going to hop in the car. Wow. It's loud. It doesn't sound anything at all like I was expecting. I like it, but it's loud. Wow. That, it does not sound like I expected at all. All the smoke, I don't know if I already said it, all the smoke is burning off the headers because they're just painted headers. So I'm going to let this thing air out a little bit. And, I don't know, I might have to put a different microphone on there or take this microphone off because I'm sure this thing just completely exploded. Well, I let the car cool down. I don't want to run it anymore tonight because it's getting later and it's loud. Like, when I ran it this last time, my wife was watching TV in the living room and apparently it scared the shit out of her. So that tells you how loud this is. I keep telling myself once it's outside it won't be as bad. I doubt it. But regardless, the last thing we need to do before we can put this back on the ground is install this panhard bar relocation kit. So this comes with a handful of things. Obviously, the relocation panhard bar that lowers down here to clear the exhaust. Comes with 2 of these brackets, which sandwich this. So essentially, the original panhard bar that goes across went here, and then there's another one that went here that went across. So it made like a Z, a V, whatever. So this moves them all down a hole, essentially. Comes with a bolt. That is for this spacer, which is going to go in the top hole because we're not going to use that anymore. Now, what I did have to do is I had to cut one of these down. So, used to look, son of a gun, used to look like this. Now it looks like this. That is because of this stamping here. It does not fit. So first thing we're going to do is put the spacer in the hole that is not going to be used anymore, which means sandwiching these together, trying to fit my hand in there. Actually, first thing we're going to do is put this in the hole. Oh, we can't do that either. We have to put this up here first. Okay. Then we will put the spacer in. That way I can hold this. Okay. There we go. There we go. Now we can take this piece, stick it up here, put a nut on these. Nut on this. Now we can take this bar. Again, I might as well go this way. Oh, where's my washer? I wonder if that washer is supposed to go in between this. Just like so. So that is how that is supposed to be. I will tighten all that up. And then on the other side, I just got to put this in there, which I guess I can do now. So that's how that all goes together. So I'll bolt all this up tight, and we should be able to put it on the ground. I want to, you can't even see me. I want to adjust these tips again because they're angled a little funky. And then, yeah, I'm going to do a nut and bolt check on all these clamps. Everything that I've had apart, more or less. And then we can put it on the ground. So I think for tonight, I'm going to do that. And then tomorrow morning, we will get this thing fired back up and take it for a drive. I cannot wait. Good afternoon. Car's outside. Last night and this morning, I went through, did a nut and bolt check. I zip tied some wires. I vacuumed the whole thing out. I also checked the timing. It was about 5 degrees retarded, so I got that all dialed in. As I was doing that, Travis showed up, and we took it out for a little drive. Now, it sounds really good. Unfortunately, it is really loud, like piss off your neighbors loud. And we went up the road, took a right, got about halfway down the road, and there was some guy standing out at his mailbox giving me the old head shake as I just went, Vroom. So, what does that mean? I don't know. Honestly, I might just drive it until I get pulled over and have to do something about it. But I like the way it sounds. I really don't want to take these mufflers off. We will, unfortunately, have to do something about the clearance off the headers. It is way too low. Just Travis and I going down the driveway. My driveway humps a little bit. It was scraping down the driveway. It is low. So I'll probably have to get a different transmission cross member or modify the one that I have and put like a cutout in it for the exhaust to go through. Probably flatten the pipe. Do anything we can to gain some clearance back. But the EFI, the Holley Sniper, that thing runs great. It feels like it has more power for sure. It runs fantastic. Lowering kit also looks really good. Before you could put your whole hand in between here. Now you can get about 2 fingers. So that is very, very nice. I like that a lot. The back, I don't notice much of a difference, but I can't remember honestly what it looked like. But it's about the same. Get about 3. I think the back didn't go down as much as the front. This is what we got for clearance. Like I said, there's probably 2 inches there, which is not enough. I'll have to look at the other side. Here's this side. This side is honestly about the same. I wonder if I could try to pick it up a little bit in the middle here too. But I think the whole thing might have to go up a hair. It'd be nice to get another inch out of it. I wasn't sure if I was going to like the quad tips, but they actually don't look terrible. I don't mind them much at all. Well, I was going to try to get a little bit of footage of me just rapping on it, but my neighbor is currently over there reading a book, and this will be bad enough for him. So we're just going to go for a little cruise. Hopefully you can hear the exhaust in this thing. I got a different microphone set up. Here we go. shit, I should have left that alone. Whoops, just ignore that. That's not there. But there she is, lowered 1.5 inches, 3-inch dual Speed Engineering exhaust with Hedman long tube headers. It sounds freaking awesome. However, it is ridiculously loud. I don't know if I want to leave it ridiculously loud. I love the way it sounds, but I feel like my neighbors probably do not like it. And I do like to try to keep my neighbors sort of happy. I mean, I don't want to be that guy in the neighborhood. So I might tone it down. But I really don't want to. Comment. Should I leave it Screaming Eagle loud? Or should I tone her down a bit? I really wanted to put wheels and tires on this thing in this video. I'd like to go with a set of 18-inch wheels. I bought the tool to measure the wheels so that I could get them out nice and flush with the fenders. I just kind of dropped the ball. I started running out of time and I never measured for them. So that didn't happen. It is what it is. Life happens. This took way too long. 2 weeks I think it sat on jacks because I was gone for a week and then I missed my deadline, so I didn't want to work on it. It is what it is. It got done. Unfortunately, it's going to need to be redone because it's too low, and we will do that in the future. So, follow along. Oh, the EFI. The Holley EFI is awesome. It really woke this car up. Now, that doesn't mean that it would do the same for other people. I never tuned that carburetor that was on here, so a lot of it's probably my fault. However, it runs freaking fantastic. This thing must go like 300 miles an hour because doing 70 down the highway, my throttle position is at like 3% and it's just cruising. So this is probably a land speed car right here, honestly. I mean, it is a Camaro. So if you made it this far, I appreciate it. I'm just kind of talking now because I don't know what to say. Next video, I don't know about next video, but coming up, we had a little issue with my wife's tracker. So we also need to redo some stuff on that. I ordered a bunch of parts. I made some parts. And we'll probably be doing that next video, if not the one after that. So if you made it this far, I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll catch you on the next one. It is hot out here. Really hot.